So if we were to look at the philanthrocapitalism movement today, 12 years after the book was published, what do you think has gone well in the movement?
I think the first thing that's gone well is that it seems to have spread, that the philosophy seems to have caught on. And just take something like the Giving Pledge, which we didn't even imagine when we wrote the book. You've now got 1 in 10 of the world's billionaires signing up to giving away over half their wealth by the end of their lives, and in 23 different countries, including some with very dynastic family traditions.
What hasn't gone so well?
Well, I think what we hoped for when we wrote Philanthrocapitalism was that these people who've been very successful in business would bring a similarly sort of hard-nosed drive to their philanthropy, that they would be about results and about high performance. Instead, I feel like many of the sort of feedback loops and so forth that you would hope would drive people towards high performance just aren't working in philanthropy. And so as a result, people can still convince themselves they're doing a lot and giving it away well, and no one's going to challenge them. And so they carry on often not being very effective.
Right. True. And so, we haven't really seen sort of the excellence or, kind of the drive with which businesses have scaled up, sort of moving to the philanthropy sector.
No, I still wonder where the Google of the non-profit sector is.
So what would you do differently?
Well, I think one thing is that I would like to have seen a lot more funding from those philanthropists that were, pretty thoughtful about philanthropy, of the sort of intermediary institutions that would study what was going on, that would promote transparency in the sector, that would promote debate about what good performance looks like.
Part of that is that, organizations, once they start growing, they kind of tend to lose their funding. Do you have thoughts on that?
Well, yes, there are all sorts of behavioral norms in philanthropy that sort of go against scale. So people are very content with a small, successful pilot, which they produce as a very colourful anecdote that they can then go on the conference circuit and talk about. Whereas in the for-profit world, you'd be saying, brilliant, it's been proven, let's get more capital in and grow it as fast as we can. People, I think, do want to have impact. It requires them to just think a bit harder about how do we embed from day one a growth model that has a whole series of sort of capital curve characteristics, different sorts of philanthropic capital that serve different stages of the growth process. And that just hasn't evolved as fast as I would have hoped. But I think there are signs it could do.
Given the unprecedented time and circumstances that we're seeing right now, what do you think philanthrocapitalism can evolve into? I
think this is a moment for, out-of-the-box thinking, boldness, risk-taking, imagination, creativity. And it's very easy to be daunted by the scale of the problem. But, I think if you look at the business world, many of the great companies were started in crises, in economic downturns. I think many of the great social innovations, can be started and scaled up in crisis as well. And this is the mother of all crises globally. And so therefore it's a time where, people with vision, people who are used to winning, who have that winning mentality that success in business gives you, you can be the people who lead people who are looking for leadership out of this mess and put us back on track to achieve the kind of positive vision of the world that is set out in the Sustainable Development Goals and other visions of a better future. So, I would encourage philanthrocapitalists to believe that they can make a difference if they do the right things and collaborate with each other and have the kind of debates that you're going to have at your gathering in the next few weeks. My fingers crossed that we hear great ideas and see great leaders emerge from the conversations you're going to be hosting.
Definitely. With the kind of technology, with the kind of advancement the world has made in, the past century, I'm sure we are really well poised to see how we can get out of this, as you said, by collaborating together, by philanthrocapitalists actually taking a leadership role in helping to guide us towards, a better, more equitable future for everyone in this world.